Hi beautiful souls, welcome to my channel Elle's Temple. My name is Elle. I'm a goddess guide and intuitive tarot reader. So happy to have you guys all here. Welcome to my returning viewers. Happy to have you back, and welcome if you're new to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing well wherever you are in the world, and you all had a lovely festive break. And also happy new year to you all. I can't remember if my last video was post new year. I don't think it was. So happy new year to everyone. I hope you guys have had a good start to the year already. I know for many of us, 2023, particularly the last bit, the last kind of quarter or half was pretty tough. There was some pretty challenging energies, a lot going on astrologically. So yeah, 2023 was a challenging one for many, but 2024 is going to be a really expansive year. 2024 corresponds with, or in numerology, it is an 8 year. It reduces to the number 8, and 8 corresponds with growth and abundance and manifestation and mastery and expansion and success and all that good stuff. So already feeling the vibes of 2024 are a little bit lighter, I feel like, or a little bit more expansive than 2023 was. I hope you guys can feel that as well for yourselves. But I thought I would jump on. I did already do a Your Path in 2024 reading, but I was guided today to do a reading all about what your soul wants you to know about activating your divine potential in 2024, because I feel like what's come through is that 2024 is going to be a really important year. So particularly for those of you who have a soul mission, or certain projects, certain key soul gifts that you're meant to be stepping into more powerfully in 2024, really shining your light and all that stuff. So I feel like 2024 is going to be quite important, quite a pivotal year is what I'm feeling for many of us. So very, very excited for that. So we have got 3 piles for you to choose from today. If you are drawn to pile number 1, card number 28 with victory, you'll be pile 1, and the timestamps will be in the description box below. If you are drawn to card number 40 with 6th chakra Archangel Metatron, you'll be pile number 2. And if you are drawn to card number 1 with the sun, you will be pile number 3. Okay, so pause the video if you need a little bit more time to choose which pile is most drawing you in. If you are drawn to more than one pile, trust your intuition. It may be that there are messages across the piles relating to different things in your life that you may need to just cobble together to create your reading. So always trust your intuition. Only ever take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, my loves, I will see you in your reading. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the victory card with card number 28, this will be your reading. So starting off straight off the bat, channeling your energy, I feel like this year is going to be a very victorious year for you. So if you have been striving for something, if there's been some sort of whether it's like a project or a milestone or something you've been wanting to achieve, maybe some of you have been like working towards doing like a marathon or something, or, you're in like competing in something, or you've been, working your way up the corporate ladder and you've been sort of striving to get into a certain position, or maybe you're wanting to get into a certain university, or whatever it might be, whatever it is that you want victory in, I feel like this is the year that you are going to see that victory play out for whichever aspect this is. Now, of course, victory is like abundance. It's kind of one of those things that is very subjective. So, sometimes this could look like it could look like I mentioned, like winning something, or, certainly achieving something. Particularly, it could be a certain level of success or abundance, financial success, something like that. There's a lot of gold on this card. So it could be, some sort of wealth or something, like victorious in terms of like a financial goal that you've been striving towards or something. But that may not be for all of you. So I just want to kind of put that out there, that for some people, for some of us, like victory it may not fit under those parameters. It might be something more internal. So it might be, related to just your own personal growth in regard to something like one example that's kind of coming to mind is like, say, for example, you've been in difficult relationship patterns or something like that. Like you've been in a toxic relationship or something that's been very unstable and very toxic and very difficult, and it's been very up and down or something, and really affected your mental health or something like that. And then this year it's like you're victorious in stepping away from that, like putting out really healthy boundaries, pulling your energy back, going about your own life, focusing on yourself, and attracting only healthy partnerships or something. That's just one example that kind of came to mind. So I just kind of want to put that out there, that sometimes victory isn't necessarily like, you know, something on the external, though it may be, if that is something that you're wanting and, you know, intentionally calling in for yourself, some sort of like, you know, like I said, like achieving a certain milestone or receiving a certain amount of wealth, or like, you know, victory in terms of, you know, going after something in particular, like a certain, say, you know, I'm getting an example of someone bidding for a house or something like that, and you're going to be victorious in getting that. So, you know, it may be something physical and tangible like that, but for others of you, this could be very subtle. It could be something very internal. It could be, you know, something that, you know, maybe on the outside, no one notices that you're victorious, but for you, you feel a sense of victory when it comes to the end of the year and you look back, you're like, oh my gosh, actually, like this year was a real win for me. Like, you know, I really finally like stood up to that person, or, you know, I stopped, you know, a certain habit, or like I, you know, was so much better with my health, or, you know, whatever it might be. So just, you know, maybe play around with what victory would look like for you. And, you know, because sometimes we can get very programmed by a certain, like, particularly in Western societal metric of what victory should look like, right? And it may not be that for you. So I just want to kind of perhaps put that out there to kind of tune in to like what you feel victory would look like for you at the end of this year. And maybe start to set some intentions around that. And the more you're, I feel like for you, part one, you're very aligned with your higher self, but the more you're kind of aligned with, the more you're aligned with your higher self, like the more you will know when you've manifested this victory truly for yourself. I feel like I'm also seeing with the number 28, some of you may be 28, some of you might be about to go into your Saturn return, because that usually happens around age 28. So this could just be confirmation. In numerology, 28 reduces to the number 10, and the 10 is all about the end of a cycle. So some of you may be closing out some sort of a cycle. So you could be victorious in terms of like, you know, getting to the end of, you know, say, for example, completing a master's thesis, or completing some sort of massive project you've been working on for a long time, or completing a cycle at your work and now you're finally getting promoted or something like that. So it could be a number of different things, but let's have a look at your other cards. So first up, we have got protest, also card number 28. So we've got two 28s here. Protest, start a revolution. We have got dependability. We have got opportunity, card number 25, expand your horizons. Love the detail on this card. Okay, we have got miracles. Okay, so I'm going to start with these cards to look at an overview of your divine potential for this year, and then we'll get into how you can actually activate that with some healing cards and rituals and invocations, which we'll come back to shortly, so stick around for that. So let's see. Straight off the bat, pile number one, whoops, threw your victory card to the side. So protest, start a revolution. So I feel like for many of you, there's this fighter energy coming through for my pile number one for this year. I feel like you're going to be really victorious. Whoops, sorry, totally. Oh my gosh, one sec. Sorry about that, pile number one. I just massively knocked the camera out of alignment. So, which is interesting because maybe that's what happened to you in 2023 or in recent years or something, that there was something that kind of knocked you out of alignment, or that just wasn't wasn't right or wasn't fair or something like that. And I feel like this year you're standing up for yourself and standing up and like asserting what you want, asserting your rights, like maybe even needing to revolt against something. This could be in a workplace situation. Maybe you're joining a union or something and fighting for, certain rights within your company, or, as your, whichever type of role you're in. Like, for example, say you're a teacher or something and you're joining a sort of union and, standing up for the rights of teachers. Or it could be like culturally, or even, I'm just kind of seeing there's a group of women here. So it could be like banding together with other women. Maybe you face some sort of a discrimination or something. Or, or even it could have been within a relationship. That could have been something where, certain boundaries were crossed, or just there was like ill treatment, or something that just wasn't right, I'm kind of getting. And so this year, it's like, I feel like you're going to be very victorious. And part of what 2024 is about for you in terms of activating your potential is like really standing up for yourself and really asserting your rights, and possibly even standing up for others in the process as well. So unless it's kind of an individual situation, like the example of a relationship or something, maybe that's more just for you and that person, or just for you to kind of protest to get something, maybe set some healthy boundaries with that person, something like that. And that may not extrapolate out to them working with other people, but maybe, for example, in a workplace situation, like you start asserting yourself a bit more, with your boss, for example. Like maybe you've been expected to work hours that you shouldn't, or there's just some sort of something like being taken advantage of a bit in the office or something like that, and you start standing up for yourself, and then maybe like other people see you doing that, and other people start to come to you and they have stories about where they've been taken advantage of. So then you start grouping together and like maybe taking your case like higher up or something. And I feel like whatever it is in regard to how you're going to be reasserting yourself this year and like really standing up for your rights and revolting against something or pushing back against something, you're going to be victorious. I feel like there's a strong message here of like trusting yourself, in terms of like, if you feel like this thing, this behavior, this whether it's relationship, company, something culturally, whatever it might be, whatever it is that you feel passionate about, or whatever it is where you feel like you've been taken advantage of, or something wasn't right, and you stand up for yourself or potentially stand up for others, you're going to be very victorious. And I feel like you're, with this dependability card here, it's like you're someone that other people can depend on. Like they see you as someone dependable. Maybe you may not necessarily view yourself that way, but I feel like within this year, this is an energy that you are aligning with yourself. And I feel like this is something that it's almost like maybe this is a new thing for you, in terms of, it's like you can really depend on yourself. There's something around like you starting to stand up for yourself more, starting to become more accountable to yourself, starting to become more dependable. It's almost like with this male and female figures here, it's like your inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine are very like united and aligned, and like you have a healthy balance of masculine energy and feminine energy, and they're working like together to help you manifest whatever it is that you either want to or need to create this victory for yourself in whichever realm this is. And of course, this is a general reading, so apply it to whichever situation And this could even be across a number of different situations in your life, right? This could be like just more generally, you're kind of leveling up, you're becoming more, like I said, more accountable, more responsible, more dependable, more assertive, really, stating your case, fighting for your own rights, like voicing your needs, all that kind of thing. And that could impact many areas of your life. If that's been something that might have been a little bit shaky before, suddenly, like, you might just start seeing small victories from, people stealing your place in line at the supermarket, all the way through to like something major where you're protesting, something, really big within your company or something like that. Or like maybe you're an activist or something, you're doing some kind of activism work, or you're involved in a legal case. That could be the other thing as well with protest and victory. Victory can sometimes mean like, after a legal battle or something like that. I feel like there's something around you really, what I'm hearing is like becoming like a knight in shining armor for yourself. So if that's been something you've been kind of looking for from the outside, it's like you're now fighting for yourself. You're now being that knight in shining armor. You're the one kind of rescuing yourself from something, whether it's some sort of a situation that, you need to revolt against, or just more generally in your life, just being more assertive, being more like attuned to what you deserve, the treatment that you deserve, or the rights that you deserve, or whatever it might be in that regard. I feel like as well with opportunity and expand your horizons, it's almost like there's something that there's something around with both this card and the miracles card, and this huge sort of like canyon here, and then we've got an eagle here. There's something around like needing to expand your vision. I feel like maybe previously you've been either playing it a bit small or staying stuck in situations that have been not really looking out for you, or not looking out, not in your highest good kind of thing. Like, not that people haven't been looking out for you in some way. Like, this could be, like I said, it could be a boss, it could be a company, it could be, within a family unit, or at school, at university, at, within a relationship. It could be anything, but it's like there was something either where it either was, like potentially not good for you, in that people just weren't treating you right in some way, or there was some sort of rights or discrimination where there was an issue, or it just, if it wasn't anything like that going on, it's like you just maybe are shifting and you're not in alignment with that anymore, and it's too small for you, is kind of what I'm getting. It's like you're growing and expanding so much this year, and you have the potential to grow and expand so much, that I feel like your guides are coming through really strongly to say expand your horizons. Like, look further than what you've been looking at. Like, whatever it was that you were focusing on, it's like you could do something so much bigger. Your horizons need to be expanded. You can look much further. I feel like with this eagle here, I think it's an eagle. Yeah, I feel like there's that could be a powerful totem animal for you this year. So for those of you that work with like animal spirit guides, or call on like a totem animal to kind of guide you throughout the year, eagle could be a very powerful one for you to work with. Eagle medicine, which is all about kind of like, having that bird's eye view, like really zooming out, like they fly very, very high, so that they can kind of see, they're a bird of prey, so that they can kind of see, where they can get their meal from, I guess. And so it's a very like expansive view that they have. And I feel like there's something around you needing to kind of like fly higher, or like expand your viewpoint, kind of look at the big picture, and trust that miracles are going to come in here. we've got two rainbows here, and rainbows are like symbolic of like, you know, after the rain, you see a rainbow. So maybe for some of you, you have had a year, this past year, 2023, of being like feeling like, you know, the universe is just raining on your parade kind of thing. Like there could have been a lot of purifying, like i.e. a lot of sadness or purging or yeah, kind of things that have been upsetting. Maybe that's why there's this protest energy coming in. It's like you've had to fight for yourself in some way, stand up to someone, stand up to something, possibly stand up, like maybe this was in a workplace as well. I'm seeing with this sort of tower energy here, it's kind of like this could have been a company, like maybe there was some sort of a, like, I'm just kind of hearing like really shitty situation, like your company treated you really badly. I'm so sorry, Pile 1, if that happened to you. But yeah, I feel like there was maybe something that was upsetting, but I feel like this year there's more opportunities and miracles coming through. And I feel like with this dependability energy, this is an energy that you can actually depend on. Like this is something you can rely on. It's strong. It's manifesting in the physical realm. And like I was saying about in the intro with the number 8, 2024 reducing to an 8 year, the number 8 is all about like manifesting things. It's kind of like as above, so below kind of thing. Like if you think of like the feedback loop of a number 8. So there's like something that you're actually pulling down from your higher self and bringing into the physical world that you can actually tangibly rely on and depend on, that you're going to be victorious in. This could be, for some of you, this could be a counterpart, divine counterpart, if that's something that you want to manifest or you want sort of victory in. Like maybe there's been someone you've been trying to manifest or something, a specific person, or a soulmate or whatever it might be. And I feel like if that's speaking to you, then you can depend on the fact that that could be someone coming in and they could be a very dependable person. But I feel like more generally speaking, this is kind of more about like it's more about like an inner alchemy of your inner masculine and feminine energies combining in such a way that makes you like so dependable, so strong, so grounded, so like so balanced as well. Like with that, it's like you can manifest anything because you can like pull that inspiration down from like the upper realms and then actually manifest it into the physical world. I feel like maybe with this miracles energy, it's like that there's miracles that the universe wants to send you that I feel like you have no idea about. Like at the moment where you're at, you can't see what those are, but when you kind of expand your horizon, like when you sort of take that like eagle view, that bird's eye view, you will start to see miracles appearing in your life. And I feel like it'll be with that kind of rainbow energy, it's like it'll be very healing for you. Let's get into the guidance on how you can activate this potential, because I feel like this is very powerful energy. If there is something that you're genuinely protesting, like in terms of like a specific protest, like, you know, there is some kind of revolution, like there's some kind of like court case, or you know, you're fighting, you know, for the rights of someone, like a human rights sort of case, or you know, maybe like I spoke about the kind of you know, maybe you've been facing discrimination at work or something like that. I feel like there's something really powerful this year that you're being called to step up to. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. It's like you're being called into this like eagle energy, as well as like leadership energy too. And the number 8 is also symbolic of like leadership and mastery. So there's something around you like really stepping up, really being victorious in some way. So maybe if that's been something you've been actively working towards, like maybe you want some sort of like a promotion, or you want to be manager, or you want to like, start some sort of a, activism group, or lead some sort of a fight, or, something along those lines. It's like there are opportunities for you to do that this year. But I feel like, yeah, with that moon there, it's like at the moment you can't maybe see that. It's like kind of, because the moon can speak of things that are hidden. You might get like dreams about it or something, but it may not be something that you necessarily can see right now. Yeah, let's get into your cards on how you can activate it. So we've got composting, decomposing energetic cords, card number 1. We have got Tribe of the Kindred, card number 10. I carry your heart, I carry it in mine. Yeah, I think I spoke about with the card number 28 reducing to 10, and 10 being the end of a cycle. We've got another 10 here. So we've got 10, 10, 10, 3 10s. So definitely some kind of end of a cycle. And then with composting as well, decomposing energetic cords, that's like talking about the end of a cycle as well, like decomposing something that's like kind of dying or being needing to be composted. It's kind of like using it's an alchemy process, composting, really. It's like using something that's dead in order to like create new growth. Like you're taking something from something that looked like it was dead, and you're using it to become stronger, more dependable, and more victorious in your life. And finally, we've got Relief and Repair, card number 36, with Ascended Master Mataji and Crimson Cooperite. So I'm going to read the messages for some of these, because there's some like rituals and invocations and things that I feel like might help you out. Let's just move these up a bit. Okay, so I'm going to start with the composting one, card number 1. Okay, so this is releasing stuck energy, releasing toxic relationships. Interesting, I think I spoke about the toxic relationship issue when I was introducing the card. Yeah, so some of you might have been in some kind of toxic relationship. And that's one of the things that, like, this year you're releasing that, you're walking away from that, and you're becoming more like, you're creating this sort of union within yourself and becoming more dependable on your own self, and possibly even then as a result attracting a soulmate who is a very dependable person, or a connection that's very dependable, if that's not been something that you've previously been experiencing. So yeah, releasing stuck energy, releasing toxic relationships, freeing self from the past, freeing self from addictive relationships, freeing self from addictive patterns. Yeah, so this victory could be victory over many different things. It could be, gaining victory because you've given up some sort of addiction or something, or victory because you've gotten out of a toxic relationship, or victory because you've cultivated better habits for yourself. So it could be a number of different things, but sometimes we form unhealthy and energetic attachments to people and situations, and an energetic cord can bind us as a result. This card comes with the power of decomposing stubborn energetic cords or trauma bonds that are difficult to cut. If you've ever experienced a trauma bond with another person, or tried unsuccessfully to cut an energetic cord that continues to reform and return, composting energy cords can be a helpful tool. So I'll hold up this creative visualization to the camera in case you want to do this in your own time, but I'll read it out as well. So think of a person, place, or situation you feel attached to and you would like to be released. Where do you feel this in your body? Imagine that you can see a barbed vine growing out of this place in your body and connecting you to the person, place, or situation that you have in mind. Place your hand over this place on your body. Imagine pouring from your hand is a strong earth energy. It can decompose anything in its path, and it decomposes this vine easily down to its roots. Watch as the vines decompose as if you're watching a time-lapse movie. Feel the release and repeat a phrase like, I am easily composting this energetic cord or trauma bond. These energetic cords easily break down in your body all the way down to your cells, leaving the most rich, gorgeous, fertile soil. And then there's a journal prompt here as well, which is try journaling with a part of your body. Ask it, are there cords here that need to be removed? Allow your wise, sweet body to say all it needs to say. Allow parts of yourself to point out old cords and where to compost them at their roots. Yeah, so interesting. I feel like there's definitely some sort of a attachment or stuck energy or something, like I was speaking about, whether it was a relationship or just some sort of a situation where like it wasn't looking out for, you know, they weren't looking out for your best, really. Like it wasn't in your for your highest good, whatever that situation was, that you're kind of standing up to now. You're kind of cutting cords from something, releasing yourself from something, reasserting yourself, finding your strength, finding your own groundedness and your own dependability, your own accountability, like being able to rely on. It's sort of a reliable energy. It's like you can rely on yourself. You can be that knight in shining armor for yourself. You're expanding your horizons as a result of this, like this newfound, like, you know, standing up for yourself. And as a result, miracles are going to come in for you. So yeah, I feel like kind of one of the main things to perhaps focus on at the moment is cutting cords to any kind of situation that's been keeping you stuck or trapped or in toxicity or addicted or you know, receiving like you know, poor treatment, discrimination, anything that's like really not, you know, not on your highest good. Sorry about that, pile one. I just had a cough. So yeah, some of you might have, I'm not seeing, well, there is a little bit of blue. There is quite a bit of blue actually in this dependability card. I'm seeing now. I mean, there's red and green and stuff as well, but there's a lot of blue on either side. So throat chakra healing could be another thing to do, because that is all about being able to, you know, if you've got a balanced throat chakra, you can speak up for yourself, you can assert yourself, you can state your needs, you can protest against, you know, where someone's like crossing your boundaries or ill-treating you or whatever it might be. You know, a healthy, balanced throat chakra, you're able to just, you know, assert yourself, not be aggressive, but not also be submissive. You can just be assertive and, you know, stand up against any poor treatment or, you know, express where you expect something to happen in a certain way, you know, or where you need certain needs to be met or whatever. Yeah, it's and also be authentic to your true self as well. Having a balanced throat chakra has a lot to do with authenticity. So yeah, that could be the other thing, as well as doing some kind of cord cutting, doing sort of throat chakra healing, concentrating on those things could be really helpful at the beginning of this year. Okay, let's have a look at this Tribe of the Kindred card. Okay, so home is where the heart is. Give your heart permission to reveal to you the people, places, and activities that feel like home for you. You are in a phase of transition in your life, casting off that which is not true to your heart in favor of that which really feels like it belongs in your world. Sometimes the mind resists, thinking that if we let go of too much, we'll be left with nothing, and that it's better to hold on even if something isn't right. This prevents you from being able to find your way home. It's safe to trust your heart as it attracts into your world that which is truly meant for you. There's a place where you belong. Maybe you found it, or maybe you are still looking. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to find it. What matters is that you believe you deserve a real home for your beautiful heart and that you don't give up until you are there. Sometimes that means leaving what you had once hoped would be your home, perhaps more than once, until you find it in the truest, most meaningful and enduring way. The quest for intimate, soul-deep belonging begins with you, with learning to love and care for yourself and to feel at home within your being. When your heart is ready and divine timing is right, you will attract and increase your soul tribe. Maybe one person at first, then another, then another. Trust in the higher purpose of divine timing. Sometimes delays or breaking away from past connections are how we find out more of who we are and what we need. Yeah, I feel like that breaking away is a lot of this linked with this composting, decomposing energetic cords, you know, releasing other people. I feel like once you're able to release like any kind of toxic connections or any connections that aren't in your highest good or any situations that aren't in your highest good, that will release that energy so that you're then in a different vibration to attract the people who do resonate with like who you truly are, with this like authentic side of yourself. So yeah, Trust that you are worthy of love and that you know how to love. Make peace with the past. All your experiences have helped you know yourself and become wiser. Remember that your tribe is looking for you just as you are looking for them, and will love you just as you love them. Be at peace, beautiful soul, for your soul tribe, your spiritual family, are part of your divine destiny, and you are a part of theirs. And the sacred ritual is place one hand on your heart and say the following invocation aloud. I call upon my kindred soul tribe, my spiritual family, the true home for my heart. May we be blessed to find, recognize, and love each other at the perfect moment in the most beautiful way. Oh, I love that. That is so beautiful. Yeah, I feel like it's interesting this has come out under this dependability energy. It's like maybe before the people, places, or things that you were attracted to, like I said, they weren't in your highest good. They weren't really dependable. Maybe they were either toxic or they just didn't look out for you, or there was just like unreliable energy or something. And like that's because they weren't really meant for you. Like if they weren't looking out for your highest good, they weren't in alignment with your true soul path or your true self. Whereas once you've kind of cleared out, once you've released those people, places, or things, you will start to just vibe with the people who are your soul tribe, and you will start to see that like, oh, like this is how, you know, this is meant to feel, whether it's a relationship, whether it's like the right kind of colleagues, whether it's like friends, you know, in whichever situation you've been having some sort of toxicity or, you know, something where, you know, people haven't really been meeting your needs, or like, you know, even, you know, going as far as like, you know, you haven't, your rights haven't been met in some way. It's like, you know, your kindred tribe will just, they will vibrate with you in a way where like you are so, it's like you don't even need to, it's like you don't even really need to assert your needs because they're just so dependable. It's all like they just get you. They're respectful, you know, there's no toxicity. It's just like, it's very healthy. You share similar values, all that kind of thing. And I feel like this is something you're going to be very victorious in this year. If you've been wanting to attract like a soulmate or soul tribe of people, if you've been feeling frustrated with the kinds of people or connections that you've been making, or, you know, if it was like a sort of workplace situation, I feel like you're going to find like your right group of people, you know, the right colleagues or the right boss or the right like job or something like that, the right company that you'll just vibe with so much better this year. And then we have got relief and repair. So let's have a look at the messages in this book are really long, so I may not read all of them. I might just pick out some bits. So where are we? 36. So I feel like the message for this card is like more related to oh, okay, sorry, I'm being guided to read this bit. This oracle indicates that any situation that may appear to be never-ending is not so, and any brokenness of heart or will, defeat, or apparent failure can and will be resolved and restored through the hand of her radiant grace. She will bestow her blessing of relief and repair upon you and your life situation. Allow her grace to resolve your life circumstances as she sees fit, so you can be revived by her rich, warm life force. When the Divine Mother turns her attention to a matter, there is no such thing as a lost cause or inevitable defeat. Oh my gosh, interesting. Defeat and victory. Yeah, so maybe there is some situation you felt really defeated by, whether it was a case, whether it was something you were protesting against, whether it was like, you know, a toxic relationship or something, trying to get out of it or something like that, or, you know, even a financial situation. I feel like if you felt defeated this year, you're going to be victorious. So her ways are many and her resources great. When she decides to animate something that may have otherwise seemed devoid of life, her power is that of the phoenix, rising again after all has seemed lost. Allow her to serve your body, mind, and spirit in the way that best serves you now. Surrender into her tender, loving care. Okay, and there's a healing process here, which I will hold up to the camera and you can take a screenshot and I'll also read it out. So, I call upon the crystal angel of Crimson Cuprite and ascended master Mataji who love me unconditionally. Thank you for the divine healing blessing of relief and repair. I take delight in the divine restoration without limitation. I thank you for the healing grace of life and vitality you bring to my body, mind, and spirit now. May the tender, reviving love of your embrace be felt by all beings in need. Through divine compassion, unconditional love, and my own free will, so be it. And then there's another invocation which says, I choose of my own free will through this and any lifetime and through all layers of my entire being to unconditionally receive the healing gift of relief and repair from the Divine Mother. Through divine grace and unconditional love, so be it. And then you can also say, may divine love bring the Divine Mother's gift of relief and repair to all beings who can benefit from her unconditional love. May all beings be happy and free. According to divine compassion and in service to the great divine plan of love unfolding, so be it. And then you can finish your healing process with this affirmation said aloud 3 times. So I receive the blessings of the universal mother unconditionally. I'm blessed with her warming grace of relief and repair. And you can say that 3 times. Yeah. So I feel like this has come out under opportunity and with miracles as well. I feel like there's some sort of a situation that maybe was very difficult for you that is going to be repaired in your life. So whether it's work, whether it's a relationship situation, whether it's friendships or like soul tribe clients, your business, whatever it might be, if there's been something that you felt defeated in, this year you're going to see victory. This year you're going to see opportunities. This year you're going to see things being dependable, things that you can actually rely on. This year you're going to see miracles. The situation is going to be restored. It is going to be repaired. Whatever you felt like was lost or just a lost cause or something is not a lost cause. Like it feels like the energy that just keeps coming up is so encouraging. It's like you can really rely on these miracles. You can really rely on these opportunities that are coming through. But I feel like the key thing is to focus at the beginning of the year on doing this composting. So do that ritual or whatever ritual you feel called to do, you know, maybe even just like, having a bath and like asking that the water energy, like, you know, as it goes down the drain, take away any energetic like stuff stuck in your aura related to a certain person or situation. You know, or there's definitely cord cutting videos online, but maybe you've already tried cord cutting and it hasn't worked, which is why this particular card came up, which was kind of to do with like stuck energy that keeps like coming back kind of thing. So maybe doing something deeper than cord cutting might be called for in this situation, particularly if it is a really like toxic relationship or something. And also, like I said, the throat chakra healing, I feel like will be really helpful as well to help you like heal and balance your ability to be able to express your needs and voice your truth and be authentic to yourself. And I feel like once you've kind of done that work, you'll start to like vibrate with the right people. Opportunities will start to come through. You know, you'll be able to more easily like assert your needs. You will you'll start to attract people who are also respectful of those needs and more honoring of you. I feel like there's kind of a, you know, an energy, you know, in this case, like she's wearing this sort of golden tiara. It's like you're going to be very honored this year in some way. It's like you're really leveling up in that sense, and you're going to be very victorious. So yeah, that is all. Those are all the messages I have for you. Pile number 1. I hope that resonated for you. Leave a comment below if it did. I would love to hear from you, or just drop me an emoji. It really helps my channel. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already part of the community, and the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps my channel to grow. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year and all the best with this expansive year and your situation, whatever it might be. And I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pile 2. If you chose card number 40 with 6th chakra Archangel Metatron, this will be your reading. So right off the bat, pile number 2, I feel like your divine potential this year that you're activating is all about all linked with your 6th chakra, which is all about intuition and inspiration and like your psychic senses, all the like clairvoyance, clairaudience, all those kind of things. I feel like for some of you, this is going to be a year where you're going to really see a leveling up in all of those gifts. I feel like maybe some of you already are very intuitive, or you've already had like a spiritual awakening of some sort, or an intuitive awakening. You're already quite tapped into your intuition, but maybe this year it's like you're stepping into using that gift more. It's kind of like you're actually using it to sort of manifest things in the physical realm, because Archangel Metatron is very much linked with actually bringing things down into manifestation. Like he's an archangel who can really help you with manifesting anything. And I'm also seeing with the number 4 here as well. 4s are a lot to do with like creating a foundation. So maybe for some of you, this year is going to be about like creating some kind of foundation or manifesting something in regard to your like intuitive gifts or skills in some way. So it could be doing something like this, like creating a tarot channel, or using your psychic gifts in some way, doing readings with people, or mediumship, maybe for some of you if you've got mediumship abilities, or if it's not like directly something like that, it's indirectly using your intuition in order to manifest things. Like it could be even in the workplace. Say you have a job that's not related to anything like this or anything spiritual or anything, but you're just starting to level up your intuition in such a way and trusting it in a way where you can actually like manifest things, and like you sort of really trust it in the sense that you will start voicing, like you may not be like, oh my gosh, I got a psychic download or anything, but you're like, I feel like the best thing, we could do right now is this. And you get these like really good ideas for your team or your company or something like that. And you're really trusting your intuitive nudges about like what direction to go in or what to manifest, or like, something like that. It's like you're really leveling up your intuitive skills in some way. And I feel like also I'm seeing the kind of blue under here, and blue is linked with the throat chakra, which is all about expression and speaking your truth and being your authentic self. So I feel like for some of you, like it's kind of like I'm hearing like coming out of the spiritual closet. It's like you're going to feel more like your true self, your authentic self, once you start like expressing this gift more and actually like using it and bringing it out into the everyday in some way. So let's get into your cards to see what else is coming up about activating this divine potential. So we have got card number 4 with mirror. Treat your body like the palace it is. We've got gateway. Love it. We've got rhythm. Card number 28. Tune into the natural rhythm of life. And we've got center. Okay, so I'm going to start with these cards and then we'll move on to, I've got 3 cards for how to actually activate your potential once we've gone into a little bit more detail about what this potential involves this year. So I feel like with mirror and center here, there's something around like looking after your energy, looking after your energy body, looking after your physical vessel as well in some way, in order to like be, really connected with this chakra, or really connected with this, your intuition or your psychic skills or whatever it might be. I feel like maybe for some of you, there might be some sort of a habit or something that may be somewhat blocking your intuition. So maybe if you say want to expand your intuitive skills in some way, or maybe you haven't felt very connected to your intuition, it could be because there's something around like your physical body and what you're doing physically that may be blocking that a little bit, or keeping it at a certain level where it can't kind of expand as much as like you're being called to let it. So there could be something around I just kind of seeing this like white ray kind of coming down to this person, like sort of cleansing their energy. So maybe doing some sort of energy healing or cleansing regularly, like maybe you live somewhere like in a city or something like that, where you're getting like your energy field maybe getting quite congested. Maybe you're feeling also with the center energy here as well. You're around certain energies that are taking you off center or something. So there's something around like needing to center, needing to ground, needing to treat your body like a palace, like being very careful about like what you eat, like what you nourish yourself with, like what, and this isn't just about necessarily food. It's not necessarily about like literal intake in your physical body. It's kind of all things that you consume. So it's kind of like, you know, the energies that you're around, the people you're around, the music you listen to, the television you watch, the books you read, like, you know, the social media you engage in, you know, all sorts of things like can make that up. And certain things can definitely block your third eye. So, you know, certain habits, certain, particularly, yeah, like certain things like doom scrolling and stuff like that can definitely be things that can negatively impact opening up your intuition. So there's something around this year needing to be very careful about what you're consuming, be very careful about nourishing your body, treating your body like the palace it is. So like maybe getting out. I'm kind of seeing this person looks like they're out in a coastal area. So like getting out somewhere where there's maybe near water, or doing water rituals or something like that to cleanse your energy, or even just doing like meditations where you imagine like a clear white light kind of cleansing like all your energy. It's kind of similar to like there's a similar colors going on with these two cards, with the white and the blue, the sort of like fresh cleansing energy kind of coming down. So there's kind of something around maybe just needing to cleanse, needing to be very careful about your body, and that will help you to like activate your third eye, activate your sixth chakra, receive those divine intuitions, the inspiration, all that kind of stuff, to allow that like flow of energy. Because then I kind of feel like tuning into your energy, there might be some blocks with it, or it might just be that maybe if you are already very intuitive, it's like your guides want you to expand that even more, like I spoke about with Metatron, and some of you like creating some kind of foundation for yourself and using your psychic gifts or using your intuitive skills in some way. But in order to do that, if you're going to level up to that level, it's like you've got to also be very careful about like your physical vessel, because you know when you're receiving like spiritual wisdom or downloads or things like that, or you're channeling, if you are then around certain energies or certain things, it can sometimes like, it's kind of like I'm hearing like fry your system a little bit. It's like it's quite hard to kind of it's like your energy body may become more sensitive, basically. So just being very careful to like center yourself. I'm also seeing like with all this flowers kind of growing out of this person, like a kind of the need to kind of ground your energy as well in order to like be able to then grow. So grounding is very important, getting out in nature. Like I said, maybe going somewhere near water, or just somewhere in nature where you can just ground your energy, particularly doing like, it's not necessarily possible to do this at the moment, and if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, but doing like earthing, you know, where you walk in bare feet or stand in bare feet on the ground, and that like really helps like anchor your energy into Mother Earth, and like pulls any negative energy out of your field down into the earth, and the negative ions like transform that energy. So that may be very beneficial to help you kind of center, because particularly if you are going to expand your sixth chakra and do more work using your third eye, and do more sort of like leveling up in that regard, that it may cause you to feel a bit off center sometimes, because you'll be getting like a lot of energy, a lot of downloads, maybe a lot of like channeling a lot of things through in some way. I know when I had my intuitive awakening, my third eye awakening in, I think it was around the end of 2016, beginning of 2017. Boy, it was rocky. Yeah, it was quite tough. Like suddenly having all these things, switch on, and like, when you start getting clear audience come in and start seeing things and stuff like that, if you're not like really protecting your energy, centering yourself, grounding yourself, really looking after yourself, treating your body like a palace, it can make things a lot tougher, basically, is all I would say. But I feel like this year you are going through some kind of gateway. It's like with this unicorn energy here, it's like you're really stepping on into your like unique path. I feel like you're going through some kind of gateway where you can be like your unique spiritual self, like I spoke about with the sixth chakra archangel Metatron, and the color blue resembling the throat chakra and being all about authenticity. There's something around like you finally being able to like express your spiritual gifts, express your spiritual self, like be the unique unicorn that you really are, which is really beautiful. I love that. I remember that as well for me. I mean, it's taken kind of several years to like really get to this point, but because as some of you might know, if you've been on my channel for a while, I used to be in like a corporate job in London, in corporate media years ago, like more than 10 years ago now. But yeah, it took a long time to kind of like embrace the woo, for want of a better word. Yeah, to embrace woo-woo stuff and spiritual stuff, and like, went through various phases of different spiritual journeys, like a sort of more general one, and then like an intuitive one, and then like sort of various goddess ones, and then like a witchy one, and like deepens, and it's very cyclical, and it takes kind of a while to sort of get to a point where you're just like full woo, and you're just out there being like, I'm just my crazy unicorn self, and I like tarot cards, and I have a tarot channel, rather than like, I have a job that most sort of quote unquote regular people can understand. So I feel like for some of you, if you are wanting to do kind of something like this, or it may not be specific to using a spiritual gift, but I kind of feel like if you've chosen this sixth chakra energy, more than likely it is something. But I feel like you might be a little bit resistant to it, or a little bit reluctant. Maybe you keep it sort of undercover, like you're not fully out of the woo closet, which is why there's this kind of gateway. It's like you're kind of like like you're just sort of just approaching the gateway, but you haven't like fully gone through it. But I feel like this year you're gonna kind of go through it. Like the universe is gonna come, like these gifts are just gonna kind of come through whether you want it or not, almost, is what I'm getting. With rhythm here and tune into the natural rhythm of life, I feel like for some of you, shamanic drumming, I'm getting, could be very helpful to help you center and ground and like clear your energy and like become more attuned to your spiritual gifts or downloads or whatever. There's plenty of like videos on YouTube with shamanic drumming, or doing like guided shamanic meditations could be helpful. But I feel like more generally this is linked with like maybe also the wheel of the year, following the wheel of the year. I've got quite a few videos about wheel of the year on my channel. If you're interested, I'll be doing those. I temporarily put them on my Patreon, but I'm going to bring them back to YouTube. So I'll be doing one for each Sabbath. So if you're drawn to this pile, you might find those particular readings quite supportive. Or just, following your own, like looking up, what Sabbath is coming up, and like working with the rhythms and the seasons of nature, working with the cycles of the year, working with like moon cycles. We've got a full moon here, so working with the new moon and the full moon, and kind of like creating your own rhythm. Because particularly if you are doing something like, if you're transitioning from, say, a regular job or structure or lifestyle to like a more, say, spiritual one, and doing something like this, or creating some new foundation where you're using your spiritual gifts in some way, you may need to kind of create your own rhythm. I kind of see here like this person's like dancing to the beat of their own drum is kind of what I'm getting. So it's like you're and also this person's dancing here. So dancing could be helpful for some of you as well to kind of ground your energy. But like, I feel like there's something around you like this year activating that confidence to just like dance to the beat of your own tune or dance to the beat of your own drum. Like just be like, I'm doing me. I'm being unique. I'm doing my own path. I'm going my own way. I'm a unicorn. Like I'm a crazy woo unicorn and you can't stop me. So love that for you, pile number 2. Let's have a look at the cards now for how you can, what sort of rituals or invocations or whatever you could do to activate this. So we have got Moon Pebbles with challenging yourself with compassion, card number 27. And we've got 27 and 28 here. So some of you may be 27 or 28, like in your late 20s, or you're 27 now, but you're going to be 28 this year or something like that. So you might be going into your Saturn return, which could also explain a lot in terms of this gateway, because a Saturn return will often cause you to like question everything in your life, basically. 28 was when I started questioning the whole corporate malarkey that I was in, and it took me a good few years more to then actually leave. But I started around my Saturn return, I started deeply questioning things, and I started traveling more, and like that was around the time I started first dabbling in spirituality and like started doing yoga and more holistic stuff and things like that. So like some of you could be like at the beginning stages of a bit of a spiritual awakening or like intuitive awakening, or getting like starting to like feel more connected with your intuition, or feel like your intuition is telling you to do certain things, like it's kind of like more powerful, it's guiding you more in your life, whereas previously maybe you've been more like logical and more like brain, you know, like just sort of doing what, you know, your conditioning told you, or doing what your brain, you know, you just figured things out logically speaking. Whereas now it's like you're starting to have these strong intuitive pulls towards doing something, like going your own way, you know, dancing to the beat of your own tune, like being unique, like figuring out something that you really want to do. So yeah, so Moon Pebbles, challenging yourself with compassion. We've got Peacock Priestess, I am enough, mother, daughter, sister, lover, card number 24. And we've got card number 27, another 27. So we've got 2 27s. So yeah, that could be a confirmation for some of you who are, if you're 27. But yeah, we've got Ascended Master, Sun Shaman, and Amethyst with spiritual connection. Yeah, very spiritual power with 6th chakra and spiritual connection card. Amethyst could be a very powerful crystal for you. But I'm going to read some of the messages from the guidebooks for these cards, because there's some like healing rituals and like invocations and stuff that could be quite powerful for you. So let's get into those. So 27. Okay, so so this is talking about doing hard things, small healthy steps, challenging self. Yeah, small healthy steps. This is coming back to the health message with the treat your body like the palace it is. There's something around like perhaps needing to be more healthy physically and energetically, like watching what you put in your body, like maybe creating some healthy habits for yourself this year that will really support you as you level up, or as you start to like awaken or go through this spiritual journey. Having good habits and taking like, yeah, good care of your physical vessel. But yeah, it's easy to get overwhelmed by all of the things that we need to do in a day. Procrastination and avoidance are normal human things that we all experience. If you struggle with completing big tasks, starting something and not finishing it, or going out of your way to avoid things that feel daunting or scary, this card is here to lovingly guide you through This card is here to lovingly guide you through one small pebble at a time. So there's a creative visualization here, which I'll hold up to the camera in case you want to do it in your own time, but I'll also read it out. So here we go. Close your eyes and imagine you are by a body of water. Think of something that you need to do that feels overwhelming, daunting, or scary. Where do you feel this in your body? Watch as that place in your body begins to glow. It glows brighter and brighter, the brightest bright light that you've ever seen. Tenderly touch your hand to this place on your body. Into your hand, out of this overwhelmed place, a stone is revealed. It's smooth and white and fits in the palm of your hand. Feel the stone and allow all of the emotions around it to flow freely. When you've felt everything you need to feel, drop the stone into the nearby body of water. Watch as it sinks to the bottom. Imagine that the task is now complete. How does this feel? And there's a journal prompt here as well, which is try journaling with a part of you that feels scared and resistant to completing the difficult task. Ask it, what do you need from me? How can I best support you? What's the most loving way for me to approach this? So, yeah, I feel like as you go through this like intuitive awakening or leveling up, making sure that you're being as compassionate as possible and kind of tuning into your body where you're feeling nervous about like going forward with something, like going through this gateway, or like, you know, as I spoke about with the Metatron, and like maybe manifesting something, creating a foundation around using your spiritual gifts in some way, or using your psychic gifts in some way, whether it's like creating a channel like this, or just doing readings for people, or doing some sort of energy healing, or whatever gift it is that you're using, whatever your brand of woo is. Yeah, making sure that like maybe I did kind of pick up before I read that message out, I did pick up a little, not for all of you, but for some of you, a little bit of resistance there. So if you're feeling resistant, just like, you know, take the time out to like journal with it. Just create one small step at a time. Like, you know, you don't have to, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Like you don't have to have set up, you know, some huge like empire like Gem Goddess or someone in the space of like 2 months. You know, it's those people who are like mega successful, like they have been doing it for years and years and years and years and years and years. So, you know, just trust that like, you know, you are where you're at, and like just take it one step at a time, and just do, even if you can do one small thing a day, towards, you know, whatever this expansion is that you're being called to start working on, or start like bringing into the physical realm, start manifesting in some way. Let's have a look at the Love Your Inner Goddess book as well, with the message there. 24 Peacock Priestess. So here we go. I am enough. If you feel impatient for something to happen, or worried that you are not accomplishing all that you want to achieve quickly enough, then take heart. The universe is working with you, not against you, to bring your dreams to life. Even times when not much seems to be happening are a part of this creative process, balancing out other times when energy becomes active and intense. What will be most helpful for you and your dreams right now is to rest. During that pleasurable rest, behind the scenes, some spiritual magic is going to be created. The guidance is, daily life can get us down before we even realize what is happening. Trying to do it all can push us beyond our limits, draining our energy and stealing our joy. One moment we are on top of the world, the next moment we wonder what happened and why we cannot rally our spirit. If we do not learn how to rest, exhaustion, crankiness, and illness eventually force our hand. It takes longer to break down and recover, and is much more painful than it is to learn to rest as part of our lifestyle. Rest is not only a way to prevent unnecessary suffering, it also has its own value. When we are in restful quiet, we can hear our inner voice and the guidance of spirit much more clearly. Yeah, exactly, sixth chakra. We can hear our intuition. So we can feel gratitude and take delight in what brings us pleasure. Rest is part of how we live well. Peacock Priestess reminds you that you can see taking rest as an act of love and a way to be a good role model. Don't allow guilt or shame to stop you from taking delight in your downtime. What kind of rest you need will vary. It could be a long nap, painting, listening to music, writing poetry, or practicing meditation. A bath with candles, visiting a temple or church to sit quietly, whether you're religious or not, doesn't matter. Working in your garden, playing with animals, or going for a walk and being in nature. What did I say about being in nature with the mirror in the center card? Definitely, yeah. I think nature is quite important. Soaking up her beautiful healing energy. There are many ways to rest. Try some and find out what you enjoy. And the sacred ritual is imagine, feel, visualize, or pretend that the universe is holding you gently and safely in its hand while you lay back and relax. Yeah, I feel like it's interesting that's come out under Gateway, because I feel like I felt when I tuned into this gateway energy, some of you having a bit of resistance towards kind of fully going through this like portal or this gateway that's kind of calling you to go through it. But by like making sure that you're really, like it says here, that you're surrendering, I guess, and visualizing that the universe is holding you gently and safely in its hand while you lay back and relax it. Like this whole process will be a lot easier, and you'll be able to work with your intuition more easily if you kind of allow it to happen and don't like sort of push yourself to the edge too much. Yeah, and I feel like this is coming back to this rhythm, tune into the natural rhythm of life. It's like tune into the natural ebbs and flows of nature, working with like the cycles, the seasons, all that kind of thing, you know, working with the moon cycles even, like working with nature rather than against it, and working with your own body rather than against it, being like having compassion for yourself, like making sure you're treating your body really well, like the palace it is, you're getting the rest that you need, you're taking care of yourself, you're centering your energy. All that kind of stuff will help you kind of like transition through this gateway and into being your unique self, and creating this foundation for yourself and manifesting with that Metatron energy. And you can call on Metatron if you need help with like, you know, it was saying with the moon pebbles about like, you know, small healthy steps each day. If you need help with actually taking those steps and taking action on the things you're feeling intuitively nudged towards, you can call on Metatron to actually help you like physically take the tangible steps in the real world to start evolving something you're feeling called to evolve. I feel like for many of you it is some sort of a spiritual like using some sort of spiritual gift in some way. Like it doesn't have to be like, oh, you're going to quit your job and you're going to start a business doing something. It could just be like doing it as a hobby, like just doing it on the side, like giving spiritual guidance, you know, whether it's on a social media platform or, you know, to friends or whatever it might be, you know, or writing about it or whatever it is. But it might just be like starting really small and growing it over time kind of thing. I mean, that's how it happened for me. I don't know what, sorry, I don't normally talk about myself all this much. For some reason, they keep getting me to talk about my own example. I guess because maybe for some of you, you're thinking about going into something like this. We've got priestess here, so there could be, you know, you could be very much called towards like the priestess path, being a guide, you know, being a priestess, connecting people with their intuition, with their, you know, divine feminine, all that kind of thing. And yeah, for me, like doing readings and things, like it took quite a long time from having my sort of intuitive awakening to actually doing like YouTube readings like this, and also doing readings for clients. Like it started off years ago. When I first started getting into it, I was just reading for myself, and then some housemates were like, oh, what are those? Can you do one for me? And I just organically started like doing them for my housemates, and then they really resonated with it, and then they dragged like their boyfriend along or their another friend along and be like, can you do it for him, can you do it for her? And then I started doing it for more people, and then one of my friends was like, you should really charge for this. And I was like, what? And I had no intention of doing tarot readings at all. That was never my life plan. But I loved it. Like I absolutely loved it. At the time I was running like literary events for you know, a book company, so as a day job. And so like, you know, but I didn't quit my job. I kept doing that, and I was just doing this sort of on the side. And then gradually over time, you know, I was part of a Facebook group where I was doing readings for free, just as part of their little online community. That gave me a bit more confidence, and you know, doing more and more readings for people and for clients, and then gradually had the confidence to kind of start something like this. So, and then now my Patreon and everything. So it's like, you know, gradual organic growth over years, and a lot of resistance as well. I had, you know, I can really identify with this part because I had a lot of resistance embracing the woo, especially because that's, you know, this is not the environment that I grew up in at all. And yeah, it wasn't really what was kind of expected sort of thing. So maybe for some of you, you're in a similar place, which is why I keep sort of being nudged to kind of blab on about myself. So anyway, let's finish with the Ascended Master Sancho Mom. But yeah, I would say if you are thinking of starting a channel, like, go for it. Like, or, you know, it could be a TikTok or an Instagram or a blog or whatever. Just go for it. Like, you won't regret it. Like, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And like, there's no moment when I regret it. I have way less money than I used to have in my old corporate job. But I don't care because I'm happy. Like, I'm fulfilled and I'm happy and I love doing what I'm doing. But yeah, I feel like, you know, for some of you, this might not be necessarily like, you know, leaving some of the past to kind of do the spiritual stuff. This might just be more a case of like embracing it a bit more and like using it even within like whatever path you're currently going down, like using your intuition, using your that gift, you know, to just guide your life more effortless, you know, to make things more effortless kind of thing. Or, you know, it could be just doing something as a hobby, just doing something on the side. So, you know, I do feel like for many of you, you're meant to use your spiritual gift, but don't sort of feel like that's necessarily saying like, oh, I've got to quit everything else I was doing, or, you know, this is going to be this full-time thing, or this is going to be a whole business, or it's going to be an empire, or it's got to be this massive thing. Not necessarily, you know, like for some people, maybe, for others, you know, maybe not, or for some people it might start small and then eventually expand. But yeah, I feel like particularly for those of you that are feeling sort of resistant, just like it said with the Moon Pebbles card, small steps, like start very small, and just start practicing following your intuition and learning to trust it. And then, you know, over time, once you start to see the benefit of doing that, and you start to see like how much better life is when you're following your intuition rather than ignoring it, you'll start to feel more confident to then share that in your intuitive gifts with more people in whichever way you feel called to. Okay, so card number 27, Ascended Master. So we bring you the blessing of spiritual connection. There are times on your life path when you will feel alone. If you are working on an issue or going through a challenging time and don't feel particularly supported or that others understand, even though they may love you, then that sense of loneliness may increase for a time. That could be where that resistance is coming from, actually. Possibly not feeling, because with that unicorn, it's like you could be like a real sort of black sheep of the family, or like kind of like really unique, and you might feel like you really stand out and no one else really understands you, and it would be really weird if you went and did all this woo stuff because you don't know anyone else who does. But just trust that like you will meet your soul tribe once you are being your real self. Like your vibe attracts your tribe kind of thing. Like once you're really out of the closet, like out of the woo closet, you'll start to attract more like-minded people. Like you won't be completely alone, I promise you. It might feel like that right now though. Like I can understand where you're coming from. But yeah, or perhaps you wonder if you are as spiritually connected as you could be. Perhaps you've been asking for confirmation of your divine connection, or for some sort of sign that what you think might be divine guidance is genuine. This oracle comes with a message. You are capable of conscious spiritual connection, and that connection is growing in power every time you talk to the universe through prayer or any act of devotion. You are also being asked to release any barriers around your heart and mind so you can allow the unconditionally loving voice of spirit to be heard in your heart and soothe your mind. Walking a spiritual path is very important for your soul. It is what you are meant to do in this lifetime, and you have in fact done this many lifetimes previously. You have developed a strong spiritual connection during the passing of those lifetimes, with an ability to feel, know, and connect with spirit consciously, even whilst living in this physical world where the clear voice of spirit can sometimes be distorted through fear, doubt, or anger. You will have different ways you can best tune into your strong spiritual connection, and what works best for you may be different for another. You may tap into your spiritual connection through meditation, dance, being in nature, relaxing or switching off your mind with exercise, through prayer, or creating art, music, or some other offering or devotion to love and life. Yeah, being in nature has come up multiple times, and there's like 3-4 kind of nature cards here. And with the pebbles as well, I guess that's kind of a nature card. So yeah, getting out in nature, I feel like could be very helpful for you to connect with your intuition, to be able to receive like your intuitive downloads kind of thing. So yeah, what is being affirmed through this oracle is that your spiritual connection is established, it is considerable, and you have the ability to tune into it in this lifetime. You are asked to rely upon your spiritual connection unconditionally, to ask for help with all things in your life. There is nothing too small for in allowing your spiritual connection to assist you in resolving the small, apparently insignificant, everyday matters more swiftly. You free up vital energies to deal with the bigger tasks on your divine life journey. From parking spaces to overall timing for your day, for assistance in all ways whilst traveling, for help in making good choices whilst shopping, to inspiration for better relationships and in matters of finance, health, and professional development. Divine guidance will help you in all ways with one purpose, to help you reside in the frequency of love and truth. Yes, I felt like that with like what I was saying at the beginning with for some of you, this isn't necessarily about like using your spiritual gift in a, you know, like as a business or something, or as a service, but it's like just starting to use your spiritual gifts or starting to use your spiritual connection to help you with all facets of your life, you know, to help you with the professional life, to help you with, you know, sort of working in a more intuitive way, to help you within relationships, whatever it might be. So just wanted to kind of reaffirm that in case you're thinking like, this is all about just people who are going to start a tarot channel or something. No, like it's just using your spiritual connection more, relying on it more, is going to be something for all of you, no matter like where you sit on that spectrum kind of thing. So sometimes there can be fear about opening up further to spirit. You may want it and fear it at the same time. If you have heard a message or someone has told you something they believe has come from the spiritual worlds and it makes you feel bad, if what you see, feel, hear, or are told is based in fear in any way, it is not from the higher spiritual worlds. Genuine divine guidance is loving, and anything that makes you feel disconnected from love or that causes you to feel bad about yourself is not higher guidance. The fear of opening up further to spirit can be so deep that you don't realize it is there. You attend development classes and work hard to perceive spiritual connection, and yet frustratingly it may not come through as clearly as you would like. Perhaps you feel like you are the only person who doesn't get something, whilst others seem to have the connection you envy. You may feel like spirit has forgotten you, or you are not important enough to deserve attention, or that there is something wrong with you that you cannot receive as you wish. All of those reactions and frustrations are understandable, but they are not reflective of a higher truth. Your spiritual task is to be kind to yourself. Be with your feelings and complete the following healing process as often as you feel you need it. Know that as fear arises, and it can arise even in those working consciously with spirit for a long time, testing them to trust and open up even more so. Yep, I will confirm that. You're releasing a barrier between you and spirit. You never need to be ashamed of your fear. It has been conditioned into bodies over lifetimes. It can take a little while to cleanse it out of the soul. Fear can be a stubborn stain, but the divine has all sorts of tricks to dislodge it. Spirit wants to connect with you just as much as you want to connect with it. More even. You are so loved. Set aside any frustration with yourself or the divine as you realize that even if you don't see or hear as some others seem to do, spirit still talks to you every day. Can you see the signs, the numbers, the white feathers, the song on the radio that seems written for you, the books you are drawn to read, or the oracle card that keeps popping up? Spirit loves you so much it has created all these ways for you to hear its loving voice in your heart. Will other ways open up for you in due course? Yes, of course, but even now your spiritual connection is already real. To grow it more, set aside time every day, at least 2 minutes, to speak to it. Imagine it as your daily phone call to your divine mother. During that daily divine time, talk to the universe. You don't need special words, just tell the universe aloud if you can what you would like help with and what you are grateful for in your life. And to integrate this guidance, you may like to say this invocation now. So I'll hold this up to the camera in case you want to do it in your own time. So I call upon the crystal angel of amethyst and ascended master Saint Germain, who love me unconditionally. Thank you for the divine healing blessing of spiritual connection. May the fullness of my spiritual connection become consciously known to me. May I be inspired to spirit daily, to connect, to talk to the universe openly from my heart. May all beings now know the extent of their spiritual connection and the depth of love that spirit holds for them. May peace enter the world through my spiritual connection, assisting the plan of light and love and light. Through divine grace and my own free will, so be it. And then there's another invocation here, which says, I choose of my own free will through this and any lifetime and through all layers of my entire being to release any experience, memory, or associated belief system connected to spiritual abuse, manipulation, feeling of disconnection from the spiritual worlds, feeling of being abandoned by the divine in any way, and of being harmed, humiliated, or criticized in any way for my spiritual connection. May the healing power of the loving words of divine grace may the healing power of the loving worlds of divine grace cleanse me completely now and restore the full vibrancy of my spiritual connection to higher guidance. Through divine grace and unconditional love, so be it. And then there's another invocation. May divine love awaken the fullness of spiritual connection in the hearts of all living beings, according to divine compassion and in service to the great divine plan of love unfolding, so be it. And you can finish your healing process with this affirmation said aloud 3 times. I trust and rely upon my spiritual connection unconditionally. It is safe for me to be fully open to spirit to receive unconditionally loving and uplifting messages that are truly helpful. Oh, I love that. That is such a beautiful message. Yeah, I feel like pile number 2, you are going to really feel so much more connected to like your higher self, to your guides. If you don't already have a connection with your guides, that might be something that could be worth looking into doing, like a guided meditation to meet your guides or something along those lines, or even doing a class or a course or something in some kind of like intuitive practice. I feel like that will really support you, even if, like I said, you're not necessarily feeling called to do this work in terms of offer it as a service to anyone else or use it for other people, but just for your own life, your own self, to feel more at home on earth, to feel more supported, to feel more guided, to feel more like, yeah, like this Peacock Priestess card talked about, like just to surrender and trust that the universe has got your back, and it's like, you know, guiding you through. It's just, generally speaking, I feel like for you, pile 2, you're going to feel a lot more guided this year, and you're going to feel a lot more connected to your intuition with regard to like all aspects of your life, if you're prepared to open to that and kind of allow it in and allow the support from the divine. Because it may be that there may be some sort of fear or resistance because this could be maybe because of religion or something, or because of some kind of block or something, you know, that, or judgment from other people, or maybe you might feel like you're going to be lonely if you kind of go down this path because you may not know anyone who does this kind of thing or something. But you know me, hello, you can comment below and I'll say hi. Like, you know, I sometimes say in my videos or on my community tab, I'm like, hey, soul family, because, you know, it does feel like, you know, once you step into this kind of work, or, you know, you kind of put this sort of thing out there, it's like you do just start to attract like members of your soul family, you know, like I really feel that. And I feel that for you as well, Pearl, too, whether you do something like this or just more generally in your life, you start to, you know, just embrace your spirit, your natural spirituality and your unique self and your spiritual connection more powerfully and profoundly, just in order to guide your life. It will help to connect you with the right people and align you with the right things in your life as well, so that things just flow. It's like this rhythm card. It's like, you know, the ebb and flow of things, the rhythm of life. It's like you're able to kind of tap into a certain like rhythm that guides you. It's like a subtle rhythm that no one else can hear, only you. It's the rhythm of your own drum. So yeah, that is all the messages I have for you, pile 2. I hope that resonated for you. Leave me a comment below if it did. I would really love to hear from you, or drop me an emoji. It really helps my channel. And hit the like button if you enjoyed the reading. It helps my channel grow so much, and I so appreciate each and every one of you who's been doing that. Hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Would love to have you part of the L's Temple community. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I next upload a reading. And all the best with this year and tapping into your divine potential. And I will see you in the next reading. All my love. Bye. Hi there, pile number 3. If you chose the Sun card, card number 1, this will be your message all about what your soul wants you to know about activating your divine potential this year. So pile number 3, I feel like this is an extremely auspicious card. This is an oracle card, but I feel like I'm getting vibes of the tarot card, the Sun, as well, which for those of you that know tarot, the Sun is all about like it's like the most positive card in the entire tarot deck, essentially. It's super optimistic. It's it just basically is an indication of very bright and optimistic time to come, of growth and expansion. You know, if you think of like when spring and summer comes, when the sun comes, like how like things just start blossoming into being, and we've got these little like, I don't know if you can see very well there, but little blossom trees and like trees starting to sprout here. We've got like a baby, so it's a very like fertile energy, like both nature, but also like any sort of creative project that you're wanting to fertilize into being. It's like going to be a very creatively fertile time for you this year. Anything that you're wanting to kind of birth, whether it is like maybe some of you want to become a parent, you know, you want to actually give birth or adopt or something like that. It could be a sign that you're going to have a child or adopt a child or something like that, or a child may come into your life. But otherwise, I feel like for more of you, this is more general, like a creative birth, like you're going to have some sort of creative baby, or you'll have to let me know in the comments below what your creative baby is that you're working on. If you have any idea at this point, this might not be something you know about yet. This could be something that evolves as the year goes on. You might be completely oblivious to it, or you might already have the seed of the idea and be like, oh yeah, I kind of feel like called to write a book this year, or you know, get those paintbrushes out and start painting something. We've got paintbrushes here, and I think she's holding an easel. Is she holding an easel or a record? I can't quite tell. We've also got a musical instrument here, so maybe for some of you, like you're going to start playing some sort of musical instrument, or like recording something, or writing a book, or could be any number of creative work. But with this fish here, I'm kind of sensing Pisces energy. So some of you may be Pisces, or you might have Pisces in your chart, or it might be useful to look up if there's any planets that are transiting, particularly I'm hearing like Mercury, when Mercury hits Pisces in your chart. So yeah, have a look at the astrology transit chart, because that could be quite interesting. I feel like there's some sort of like Pisces activation here, where that kind of very creative, inspired energy is going to kind of come to life. And yeah, I'm just seeing all these like lily blossoms coming here, which is symbolic of like rebirth as well. So we've got this sort of theme of birth and rebirth. So maybe for some of you, you're going through some sort of like creative rebirth. And there's this water. It looks like this figure's sort of sitting in this watery cup, and water is symbolic of emotion. So I feel like you're going to be very like fulfilled, very emotionally fulfilled, very happy. And like your emotions are going to feed into this creative work as well. Interesting. Okay, let's have a look at your other cards to see what the other messages are. We've got context. We have got taking risks. We've got imagination. Let your dreams take flight. Card number 15. And we've got stars. You can manifest your every wish. Card number 5. Okay, I'm going to start with these cards to talk about your divine potential, and then we'll come back to these cards to look at some specific rituals and invocations to activate your potential. So stick around for that. Interesting. I'm seeing number 5 here, and I spoke about like rebirth here as well. And we've also got a dragonfly here, which is symbolic of rebirth and regeneration and change and transformation as well. So there might be some sort of a change in your circumstances this year. You might be going through quite a big, I feel like you're going to go through quite a big transformation, or you're being called to go through quite a big transformation. I feel like similar to pile 1, so you may have been drawn to pile 1 as well. There's this theme of expansion, like expanding your view, like expanding your horizons, kind of like taking risks. You know, we've got an eagle like just spreading its wings and flying off from like wherever it was like perched from. It's like feels like it's kind of like growing I'm hearing like going abroad. So maybe some of you are going abroad. You're like maybe you're like flying overseas, or you're either traveling or you may be moving somewhere, or just more generally in your life you're feeling more compelled to take more risks, to go through some sort of a change, some sort of a transformation, some kind of a rebirth here. Uh yeah, I feel like with the I'm kind of seeing with the eagle leaving its like kind of nest behind, and then with the red here with this context. Red is symbolic of the root chakra, which is all about like your home, your root, your family, like where you're from, your traditions, your background, all of that kind of thing. And I feel like with this eagle kind of taking flight, it's like you're being called to kind of like go through a sort of a rebirth or a transformation out of like that, your upbringing, or out of like your conditioning or your roots, or anything that's kind of been keeping you stuck or keeping you small or keeping you down, keeping you from like expanding and taking risks here. Maybe for some of you, you've had some sort of conditioning around like you know, like playing small, or not being seen, not being heard, kind of not, or just like kind of pessimistic energy, like not really believing in your dreams kind of thing, like not daring to dream big or take risk, like maybe quite conservative energy, or just quite pessimistic energy, like like, oh, it's all very well to like, be an artist, but you need to put bread on the table, so like don't bother doing anything creative because blah blah blah. Maybe you've had a bit of an attitude like that, growing up. It may not necessarily have been from parents. It might just have been, root chakra can be about like, anything related to your upbringing. So it could have been your schooling, it could have been friends, it could just be, sometimes like growing up in a small town or something. I didn't grow up in a small town, but I grew up in a very small city in New Zealand, and there was definitely this what's called tall poppy syndrome in New Zealand, which those of you who are from New Zealand or Australia will know about this. A little bit less so in Australia, actually. It's a very Kiwi thing. But essentially it's kind of like there's this, it's a phenomenon that talks about like if people get too big for their boots kind of thing, or too like successful or too like expansive in their life, that they're a tall poppy and they'll be like cut down. It's like there's this sort of such an egalitarian nature in New Zealand, like inbred into the culture, that like it's like you don't want to be too tall a poppy or you'll get cut down. It's like a thing. And I think that even though it's a Kiwi thing, I think that phenomenon can exist in other cultures, and it can exist, within family systems, or in, certain socioeconomic classes, or certain other cultures and things like that as well. So some of you, for some reason, that's coming to mind. And so I feel like, when I'm thinking about root chakra, I'm feeling like some of you might have had, and also poppies are red actually as well. So, and she's got these, they're not poppies, but they're like red flowers that are like sprouting from her head, little red buds. So like, yeah, some of you might have like had a lot of creative dreams as a child, because also the other thing I didn't speak about with the sun card is that the sun can be about like your inner child as well, and like going through like a period of being really reconnected with your inner child and expressing your inner child, and like, being very, like creative, like creating the things that your inner child would want to create kind of with abandon. So there could be something around like doing some inner child healing at the beginning of this year to kind of help you with this year, that might help unblock some creative blocks. If you feel like you do really want to create something and you felt blocked up until this point, it could be because of some sort of conditioning that you had in your childhood. And I'm not necessarily saying, oh, this is like blame your mom and dad or anything, like, or, blame a parent figure or guardian. This could have been just the culture, your schooling, your friendship group, any number of things, or a combination of things, the media, it could be like just a whole cluster of different things. And I feel like context, like it's kind of like what I'm getting is like maybe some of you tried to create something, as a child, like say for example you wanted to do some sort of art, like drawing or something like that, and like you know, you were really good at it or something, but like in the context of the school you were in or the environment that you were in, that particular place was like not, they just didn't value art. They were a school that valued sports, or they were a school like the school I went to, or like, can you tell that I'm like super good and amazing at sports? I did ballet when I was a kid, so yeah, like that was just, it was, you know, it was a similar thing. It was like, you know, the context that I was in, like the things that I like to do and were good at were not terribly valued. And so you could have had something similar happen where like you were really good at like writing or at music or at the arts of some sort or some sort of creativity, but like in the context, in the environment that you were in, it wasn't valued. Or it's like, oh yeah, that's really good, but like, you know, you need to come over here and focus on your maths work, or you need to focus on your sports, or like, you know, we don't really care about like this music stuff. Like you can do it as a hobby, but like, you know, really you need to be getting A grades in all your main academic subjects so you can go and be a lawyer, or, you know, whatever it might have been. Or like, you know, there could have been something like that around with this context. And then we've got this sort of dragonfly sitting at her throat chakra as well. So throat chakra healing could be very helpful. I mean, anytime there's any kind of creative block, doing some kind of throat chakra healing can be really helpful to help you be able to express your creative self, express your creative ideas, put yourself out in the world. And with the dragonfly being there, it's like saying there's going to be some sort of transformation in that area. So I feel like, yeah, something around your roots, something around your conditioning or programming or how you were brought up is being transformed, and how you're gonna express yourself. I feel like you're very much being called to create what you want to create. And for some of you, you'll know exactly what that is, and it could be something you've been working on for a while. And for others of you, you may not know what that is yet, but it might evolve, or you might start to get more clarity as this year goes on. But like the sooner you can start like carving out time for your like inner child to just kind of play and like express themselves, like in whichever creative field you feel drawn to. And maybe if you don't know what that is, trying a bunch of different things to kind of see, like with that taking risks thing, it's very much like, you know, to be a real sort of artist in some way, it's like you've got to kind of take those creative risks. You know, it's like you've got to try something different. You've got to put yourself out there. So, you know, you'll all be at different stages of this. For some of you, this could be like, you know, taking an art class. Like taking a risk for you is like signing up to an art class and going along, you know, once a week to, you know, a hobby class, for example, in the evenings or something. For others of you, you're already an artist and you already have loads of skills, but there's maybe been a bit of programming around like, you know, putting that work out there. Like maybe you've been painting loads and you have lots of stuff for yourself and you show yourself and your friends or something, but like you are now being called to step up and take risks to like share that with the wider world. Like, you know, maybe sell your canvases on Etsy or something, or like do an exhibition or whatever, you know. Or if it's writing, it's like, you know, similar example, like maybe some of you just start, you know, carving out a bit of time on a weekend to, you know, start writing the novel you've always wanted to write. For others of you may already have a novel that's written, and it's about like, you know, starting to take the risks to like meet up with agents, or, you know, whatever it is you have to do, like send it to agents or publishing companies or whatever, and or start, you know, publishing bits of it online, or, you know, whatever it might be. I feel like there's some sort of risk that's being called for, some sort of expansion that's been called for this year. But I feel like you're with imagination and let your dreams take flight, and then stars, you can manifest your every wish. I feel like the universe has your back with this. Like this is not like you're gonna fall flat on your face and it's gonna be like this epic failure, or like just embarrassment, or anything like that. I feel like, you know, this is genuinely something that you can, you know, really like you can really manifest it essentially. Like, you know, with even if it might not be like you're gonna become Pulitzer Prize winning novelist, although you might, but like, you know, it's like your dream. It's kind of that whole energy of like shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land among the stars kind of thing. And we've got stars here, so I kind of feel like there's something around like sort of aiming higher, not keeping yourself small, or like not just sort of, you know, saying, oh, there's no point doing that because no one will ever look at it, or like there's so many other artists or so many other writers in the world anyway, you know, like why would anyone read my stuff, or, you know, why would anyone listen to my music? There's already loads of people doing that, or, you know, whatever it might be that you're doing, that you're telling yourself to kind of keep yourself small. I feel like, you know, tapping into like letting your imagination run wild. Like where would you like to see yourself in 5 years? And like what sort of dreams do you have for, or what sort of creative visions do you have for your creativity? And just like let it, you know, you can see in this, she's very, her arms are just up in the air, you know, she's very like surrendered. It's kind of like, whew, like whatever, like, you know, just sort of let it go to the universe. Like put your dream out there, put your wish, put your wish out there. It says you can manifest your every wish. What do you wish for? Like, do you wish to have a book published? Do you wish to have a painting exhibited in an art gallery? Do you wish to have your music, like, I don't know, picked up by a producer and turned into an album, or whatever it is? You know, whatever you wish for, like, you know, set that intention, write it down. You know, you can do one little ritual that my friends and I did for New Year's was to write down our intention and put it in a pine cone, and then we buried the pine cone in the earth, out in nature. And it felt very like, I mean, I'll let you know next year if any of it happened, if any of the things I wrote down happen. But you know, you don't even have to write down if you don't know specifically what it is yet. You can just write like themes, or like, you know, I want to feel more confident with my creative work, or I want to feel, I want to take more risks this year, I want to expand myself, you know, things like that. You know, so you all will be at different stages. Some of you will be just starting to kind of go into it, and others of you will be more at the expansive point. So let's have a look at the cards to activate. So we have got Starborn 21. Yeah, we've got stars and Starborn. Excuse me, sorry. I feel like you guys are going to be stars in some way, or you are going to be very successful in whichever thing. And this is coming out sort of beside context and taking risks. And with the context card, we spoke about the roots and like your conditioning. And I feel like, your conditioning may have led you to believe that you're not a star, but I feel like you really are. You just need to take the risks that you're being guided to take, and you will become a star in some form. We've got Purple Diamond with manifesting your dreams. So we've got two cards about manifestation. You can manifest your every wish and manifesting your dreams. So and there's a lot of purple energy here. So, and this card's quite purple as well. Which is linked with the third eye chakra and the crown chakra, which is a lot to do with like your imagination, inspiration, intuition, like getting like spiritual downloads, that kind of thing. So I feel like you'll be very intuitively guided this year as to like, you know, and letting this dream of yours unfold. And then finally we've got Archangel Metatron and Clear Quartz with power. Beautiful. So I'm just going to read from the Love Your Inner Goddess book, card number 21. Oopsie. So Starborn. So you have a strong spiritual connection with the universe. Trust your intuition and your inner feelings about things, especially when your inner feeling is at odds with the appearance of something. Sometimes it is when it seems like the least is happening that the most important thing is actually taking place. You cannot see it yet. You just cannot see it yet. You have a special and deeply spiritual life purpose to fulfill. You cannot get there with logic and planning. Your spirit knows how to guide you, and the universe knows how to support you. Following your heart along your spiritual path is going to lead to your best, brightest, and most beautiful life success. And the guidance says this: stardust in your soul, the earth loves you and you are meant to be here, but you may feel in your heart that you come from some other place. Human behavior may not always make sense to you. It may sometimes seem unnecessarily cruel or selfish. As you let yourself fall deeper in love with the earth, enjoying her creativity and beauty, you'll learn to hear her in your heart. You'll understand your purpose and why you chose to bring your starry-eyed soul to her as a human being living the life you are meant to be living. You'll realize that there are certain ways that you can help others to open up to the wisdom that your heart already knows. We cannot always understand why things are the way that they are, but we can always make a positive contribution towards healing change. Your life mission is to be happily you in the ways that feel most true, to fall in love with your life here on earth just as much as you feel love in your soul for the heavenly stars. You are meant to be here shining as a beautiful, loving star on earth. And the ritual says, you can do this exercise physically or by visualizing, feeling, imagining, or pretending. You are going to gaze at the stars in the night sky, lying on your back if you can, perhaps somewhere in nature if that is possible. Feel the pleasant heaviness of your body connecting to the earth as you relax and gaze at the stars, imagining that you can open your heart and receive the starlight they generously shine. Maybe you see or feel a shooting star. That's another starborn soul just like you, making her way to the earth to increase love and light on this planet just like you do. Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, there's like a double message about stars, and like it was saying about lying on the ground and, you know, gazing at the stars, and we've got these two figures gazing at the stars. So maybe for some of you like stargazing or astronomy or astrology or something like that. But I feel like this is kind of saying with this roof not being here kind of thing and just being able to look up to the stars, there's this sense of like taking the lid off your dreams or taking the roof off your dreams. Like, don't think small, like think big, like really, you know, sort of, yeah, take the roof off and like let the stars sort of guide you and make a wish. And whatever that wish is, like you can actually manifest that. You have the power to manifest that. And with Purple Diamond, manifesting your dreams, this card talks about like doing certain manifestation rituals to like actually bring your dreams about. So like doing vision boarding and things like that. So yeah, it's talking about residing in the energetic space, allowing magic, standing in your dreams, feeling good now, feeling satisfied now, and manifesting now. So yeah, this card comes to you with the message that it's time to embody the big vision you have for yourself. You are a powerful, magical creator, and this card comes as a confirmation that the dreams you have that you think are outlandish are possible. And there's a creative visualization here, which I won't go into, but I'll hold it up to the camera in case you want to do it in your own time. Okay. And also a journal prompt which says, let the diamond describe to you in detail how it feels, smells, and looks now that your dream is realized. This can be as fantastical as the diamond wants. Let it speak freely without judgment or control. Yeah, so something around like tuning into your kind of inner diamond sort of thing. And diamonds are created under like huge amounts of pressure. So it's kind of like with that context card, like, yeah, maybe some of you grew up with a lot of pressure, or there was just like, you know, a lot of expectation put on you, or, you know, to be a certain way or do certain things that weren't necessarily what you wanted to do. But I feel like now you have the opportunity to take risks and like really manifest the dreams that you really have for yourself. Let's have a look to finish up with power, card number 1. I'm not going to read all of this message because they're really, really long, but I'll just pull out the kind of key bits. So together we bring you the gift of power. Spiritual power enables you to trust in your higher guidance no matter what appears to be happening in your life. Psychological and emotional power enables you to transform through evolving your belief systems and processing your emotions, through which you gain wisdom. Physical power gives you the strength to take action on the matters that serve your life path. The gift of power is safe for you to receive because you will use it to fulfill your divine destiny, which in turn supports all beings. So let's just see which bit they want me to read. Okay. As you continue to become more comfortable with owning your power, you will learn how to handle yourself in a way that is lovingly disciplined and strong. You shall become even more willing to admit to the aspects of your character not constructive or helpful without judging yourself, but whilst also acknowledging you are powerful enough to do something to heal an attitude or change a behavior that isn't supporting your soul. You will then increase your power even more because you'll increase your ability to overcome the behaviors that would once have held you back. Yeah, interesting talking about that, because I felt like with this context card, there's been some sort of conditioning or some sort of programming from your upbringing that's been like holding you back. It's been keeping you small, or keeping you in your comfort zone, or doing something more sort of conservative and not taking the risks that your soul is guiding you to take. So yeah, I feel like once you really step into and really own your power, it's like you'll be able to just let go of a lot of those behaviors, those self-sabotaging behaviors. So yeah, it's talking about the best way to do this is to love yourself. Then you can accept whatever your less helpful traits may be and use your personal power to choose different ways to be over and over again. Your personal power will give you the ability to keep adjusting your behavior, realigning your thinking with a strong, loving reality, and cultivating unconditional trust and determination. When you commit to these powerful behaviors, you will naturally evolve into a new and more spiritually advanced way of being. In this way, you can accept the gift of power without fear that you will misuse it. Your use of power is to serve your spiritual growth. Whenever we grow spiritually, we are helping not only ourselves, but the greater good too, even if that spiritual growth sometimes makes others uncomfortable for a time. After all, growth is really a comfortable process, at least at first. The gift of power you now accept will support you to transform any tendency you have towards self-sabotage, what I was just talking about, self-sabotage, doubt, feeling afraid, lacking in confidence, or being unwilling to take risks. Oh my goodness. Being unwilling to take risks, exactly. I love how the cards, the synchronicities are just out of this world today. Being unwilling to take risks that are essential if you are to grow. Within you now is the inner strength to overcome any obstacle. Your spiritual success is inevitable. It is only a matter of time before you see and feel it in your world. Yeah, I feel that is absolutely true. Like, it's saying you can actually manifest your every wish. So, you are going to see the wishes that you have for your life actually show up. Like the things that you are imagining. If you take the risks to go towards those things, you can definitely see them start to grow in your life. That's what the energy of the sun is all about. Like, as the sun comes in, it grows on, like, it helps the plants actually grow. It helps them actually blossom. So I feel like that is something, like, that's a supportive energy that's coming in for you this year to help you actually grow and manifest and see things actually come about on the physical plane. So really beautiful energy. So there's a healing process here, which I'll just read out the first bit. So I call upon the Crystal Angel of Clear Cause and Archangel Metatron, who love me unconditionally. Thank you for the divine healing around all aspects of my expression of power now. I choose to see, know, and feel